welcome. We've started the recording and we will go ahead and share this at the end with y'all via email and also on YouTube. So we thank you for attending today's demo on growing your PMO with Microsoft Planner. My name's Megan and I'm an account manager here at Marquee 360. And you'll also be hearing from Charlene, our West Coast account manager, and Stella, our solutions architect, who will be doing the demo today. So today's agenda will be Charlene and I'll give you a little bit of background on Marquee 360 and some of our focus areas. Stella will do the demo, and lastly, we'll have time for Q&A. But we do love an interactive audience as we go along. So please ask questions, put them in the chat, and we'll make sure to get them answered. And again, we will be sending out the recording. So a little bit about us. Marquee 360 was founded by former Microsoft employees who are well respected and considered industry leaders in the industry. We have a very seasoned team with 20 plus years in the PMO industry, and we take the Microsoft suite and enhance its capabilities, filling in any gaps, automating functions, and trying as much as possible to take out the manual work out of your processes each day. Our main mission is to drive growth and enhance your internal processes. And we hope to achieve this by implementing best practices to optimize your efficiencies and then just overcoming any of your pain points. So we do a lot of customizing when we meet with your teams. Our core focuses for success are innovation, customer success, and support. Again, we're pioneers in enhancing the Microsoft suite on the Power Platform, and again, bridging any gaps that may exist. Our goal is to elevate your experience and to customize and align with it. So with whatever your company's requirements are, again, we'll do requirements gathering and customize it to your needs. We also work side by side with Microsoft's technology team during their development process, which ensures that our solutions are always aligned with the Microsoft's roadmap. Customer success, we always act as your trusted advisor, ensuring unwavering support to the end. We have support contracts, 24-hour support desk, and hypercare, and lots of other good things to support you. Again, we utilize our expertise practices to tailor and customize solutions to align with your organization's PMO needs. And then lastly, we realize that support is really important. So it plays a huge part in a successful launch of any of the new programs. So we also offer ongoing support for your company and make sure it's up to speed and that you're satisfied with our results. So that's why we're providing comprehensive support from start to finish. And with that, I will hand it off to Charlotte.
Thank you, Megan. So like she said, welcome to our webinar on growing your PMO with Microsoft Planner. Today, we're going to share some details on how to use Planner to facilitate your team collaboration, communication, and then manage your resources efficiently and expand your portfolio management capabilities. So Microsoft Planner is going to be Microsoft's newest product offering. Microsoft has invested a lot of research and development work into making the work management experience easier. So the new planner includes enhanced features that allow you to see all of your work within a single view and allows you to manage tasks, to-dos, and projects within one app. So team members can be assigned tasks, update tasks, project, without having to switch back and forth. The modern work management is going to encompass both collaborative and enterprise work management. So it caters to business users, informal and professional project managers. Microsoft Planner, which was formerly Project for the Web, offers a sophisticated project management platform built on the Power Platform. So it integrates with tools like Copilot, Power BI, and Power Automate to deliver a comprehensive solution for both task and project management across various roles. And then this is just going to show a little bit more about where we come in and what we do with the Microsoft platform. we take the core tools within Planner and expand on them to give you a full end-to-end enterprise project solution. So Planner as it comes, you get some light task management, and then we use Power Apps to add features like an intake app, timesheets, and budgets, things that aren't already existing in Planner, and connect everything with Teams to give you that collaboration back and forth. We use Power Automate to streamline workflows behind the scenes, and Power BI report packs to put all that data into really nice interactive dashboards so you can view everything at a glance in one place. And then with that, I'll pass it to Stella, who will go over what you guys are going to learn today.
Hi, my name is Stella. I am a solutions architect here at Marquee 360. Today, we'll be looking at some exciting areas for project management. We'll start by building a basic plan in Planner, and then from there, we'll look at those features. We'll convert the plan to a premium plan, and then we'll look at some more robust features in PPM 360, which is Marquee 360's accelerator for Planner, previously called Project for the Web. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So as we can see here, I'm currently using the browser version of Teams. And within Teams, I'm using Planner, which is pinned here. As we can see here, I can see my pinned plans that I've already created here and some other ones. I have an area for my tasks, which is going to show me all the tasks that I'm assigned across all projects. Here we can see the project name, some high-level information about the task. I can manage the tasks that I'm assigned directly here by using this quick look column to see attachments that are related to this, to see notes, any screenshots, any notes there might be here, and then also to view task conversations, which we'll look at later. So let's go ahead and create a new plan. We're going to select new plan here from the bottom, and it's going to ask us, do we want to do a basic or a premium plan? Now, there are many factors to consider when determining which one we should use. The basic plan is a lot better for smaller size projects, a lot of times ones that are ran quickly, maybe some agile projects, but ones that are smaller and don't need tasks to depend on each other. The basic plan is going to have a limit of about 8 columns, while the premium plan is going to have 17 task columns, plus the ability to add an additional 15 custom task columns as well. We see here we have some templates here, simple plan, commercial construction. Based on which one you pick here, it'll tell you this is a out of the box a premium plan or basic plan. We're going to go ahead and start with the basic plan of our own here. I'm going to add this to my pinned plans here. And now my plan's been created and it auto takes me to the board view here. So from the grid view here, I'm going to go ahead and add some tasks. Simply by selecting enter, it takes me to the next line. Now we can see here I have some tasks and my 8 columns here. So the task name, assignment, where I can come in here and assign assignments either to myself or other people in my organization, as this is synced with AD. So I'm going to go ahead and look for Charlene and assign her to this task. And when I assign her to the task, it's going to ask me if I want to add her to the group, which means the files associated with this project or not. So I want to go ahead and I want to add a group, and I'm going to go ahead and create this group. Okay. So here's my group. So now I can come in here and add additional members. For example, if I wanted to add Mia, I could add Mia here. And even though I haven't assigned her to a task, I still have invited her to this project's information so she can see any documents that are stored here for this project. I'm going to go ahead now and assign Charlene. I'm going to do some start dates here. Say this is due. Now, as you can see here, we don't have a depends on column. So we don't have a way to make these tasks just automatically depend on each other. But if we did have that column, which we'll see when we upgrade this to a premium plan, we could simply just add the first date here, add our dependencies and depends on column, and our dates would populate for us. Another thing to note here as well is that these tasks, they're not meant to be able to move around in order. So as you can see here, there's no way to kind of drag and drop them in different orders. So we can see here that I have this task, start date, due date here, and I have an area to mark in progress. So for progress, I have 3 options. It's going to be not started, in progress, and completed. Now, the premium plan we'll see has a % complete column instead of progress, where it actually allows you to have the granular level to say if it's a 20-hour task, I've completed 3 hours, for example. Versus with a basic plan, it's going to force you to pick in progress, which relates back to a premium plan as 50%, which can be misleading for tasks that are long in duration. Or I can mark it completed, which is 100%. Here I have my buckets, which we saw here in the board, so I can add additional buckets. And I can drag and drop tasks into these buckets. I can see my schedule here, how my tasks overlap. I can click on the task to see more information about it. So if I wanted to increase the duration, I could do it like this. And I can see that reflected on my schedule. I can also add a task directly here. And see these tasks here as well. I have my charts view, which is a display only here with these tasks here as well. So I can see that I have my members, so amount of tasks that are unassigned, assigned to myself because I'm the lead on this and Charlene. And as I assign to other people, we'll see that their names will appear here. So now we can see Mia showed up here. We can see the amount that are not started, in progress, late, and completed. And then we can see our buckets here, how many tasks are in each one. The blue indicates that these tasks are in progress. This indicates not started. And if we go ahead and mark one completed, we can see that that updates as well. So although I have this one in my completed bucket, it's actually not started yet. So that is a little misleading. And then priority auto sets all of them to medium. Now, when we try to access any of the premium plan views, it's going to ask us if we want to convert this to a premium plan. So we can say yes, convert now, and just here are other views too. So if I try to access any of these, it's going to convert it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and try to access this one and then say yes, convert now. Takes a moment while it's creating now my premium plan. And we're going to see quite a different view here where I can have more robust project management tools for managing my schedule. Success, my plan was converted to a premium plan, and now I have way better control of my schedule. So as we can see here, let's just highlight this % complete column that I mentioned here. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add some columns. As I mentioned, we have 17 out of the box Microsoft ones, and then this new field when we can create, for example, a yes or no one. We can create up to 15 of these custom task columns. And once created, you can also delete them. So I'm going to add effort completed, and effort remaining. And let's take a look at this task here. So as we can see here, I have a 2-day task, and this task is automatically showing me 0 effort hours. Let's go ahead and give this task an assignee. Now we can see that it's updated to 16 hours, which is 8 hours per day, and 16. Let's go ahead and assign someone else to this task as well. Now we can see this has increased to 32. Now, with one of our premium views, which is the assignments view here, I can come in and group by task and have more granular control of who's actually completing this task. So for example, if I want Charlene to complete the bulk of the work and I'm only going to be contributing a couple of hours to this task, what I can do is I can simply say I'm going to complete 4 hours here, and Charlene is actually going to be completing an additional day here. So we can see this updates her total hours here as well. Now back on my grid view here, let's look at this percent complete column. So as we can see here, if I have an example, I'm going to assign myself a task here. It's going to give me 24 hours because this is a 3-day task. Let's say that I have completed only 4 hours. I can use my either effort completed column here to put 4 hours completed, and it's going to update this percent complete. Or I could use this to say 45%, and it's going to update my effort completed column here as well. We have the bucket view, which we looked at. Let's go ahead and hide that for now. And let's take a look at our quick look column. So one thing that we didn't have on the basic plan was this ability to drag and drop tasks into different orders. Not only that, one of the key things we had is we didn't have a way to make tasks dependent on each other. But using our depends on column, we can do that. So now when I add additional tasks here, I simply have to come to my depends on column here and say depends on 7, for example. And it's going to auto-populate those dates and give it 1 day. Same thing here. The first thing that's going to automatically recommend is the task above it. So that's your classic finish to start, which is FS here. But another great thing about Premium is that we can use advanced dependencies. So if we use this arrow here, we can see that we can actually do finish to finish. And here it shows you what that's going to look like. Start to start, a little bit less common, and then the very less commonly used start to finish here. We can also add a delay type, lead by or lag by. So for example, if I want this to start after the task above plus an additional 3 days, I can do that as well. Once again, it's going to suggest the task right above it, populate those dates. We can increase our duration and manage some percent completes as well. Here's our priority bucket, which is another Microsoft one, so we can mark things as urgent, important. Let's go ahead and hide this column. And then we have some other recommended ones here as well. So our outline number can show us our work breakdown structure. And then we have labels, goals, and then we have dependents after, which is your successors. Now, typically, once you've created your project schedule, you'll want to go ahead and baseline it. So we can use this baseline feature here, which is a new Microsoft feature recently added, to create our baseline. Now, when we create our baseline, it's going to tell me my start date and my finish date. And it's going to tell me that I'm on track currently. It's going to tell me who created this, when it was created on. Now, as we can see here, we have a little area that says compared with baseline 1. Microsoft currently isn't giving the ability to create multiple baselines, but from the back end, we can see that some upgrades to the tables in Dataverse, that this is coming, the ability to set multiple baselines for multiple and task-related information. So we can see here now that, let's go ahead and change my finish date since I've set this. So the finish date's dependent on when the last task ends, which is this one here. So ideally, this one would actually be at the end. We don't have any dependencies. So we'll go ahead and make this one depend on 9. And I'm actually going to say that this is going to be a little late. So let's increase this by 5 days. Now our schedule is off track, which we can see here. Your schedule is behind schedule, and it's behind schedule by 4 days. Here in my notes area, I can say why it is off track and possibly discuss my plan for getting it back on track. We can delete this baseline and set a new one as well. And we can also stay tuned for updates to the baseline by learning more here, which I indicated earlier. Fingers crossed, is going to be the ability soon to set multiple baselines. Now let's look at our premium views. So we did look at the assignments view here, which allows me to assign multiple tasks by people here. And then we have our people view here. This is where I can drag and drop tasks to people. And if I have to drag it above here, if I drag it below here, it's going to mark the task as complete as well. I can also filter tasks to say ones that are unassigned, by bucket, by critical task, which is that custom column as well. So utilizing these filters, we can really narrow down our tasks. Microsoft has also added a goals area here for tasks. So we can say, I want this goal to be finished before deadline. And now that I've added this goal back on my grid view, I can add that column and assign it to a goal. I can also create a new goal directly from here. And assign it to multiple goals or just one. Now, if you are a big coloring person like me, you're going to love the conditional coloring that they've added here as well, similar to Excel. But we can say, for example, I want to see all tasks that are assigned to myself. I want to see those in red. We can also say something like, I want to see all the tasks that have a percent complete is less than 75%. And it's going to highlight those tasks for me as well. In other examples, we can say, using our custom task column here, show me all the ones that have no, and it'll highlight those there as well. Any questions so far? Okay, great. So far we have created a basic plan here in Planner. We realized that our project was a little bigger than initially anticipated, so we went ahead and converted it to a premium plan where we have our task dependencies, advanced dependencies here, significantly more custom task columns, our baselines feature, the assignments view, the people's view, the goals view as well. Now let's switch over to task conversations. So directly in Teams here, which this can be utilized as well from the planner area here as well, we have an integration here at Marquee 360 with when a new project is created in our model-driven app, it creates a Teams for it. And for that Teams, it automatically adds a project details tab, which brings in what it would look like in the browser view here. And you can manage your schedule directly from the Teams that's created for this. So we can see here some more robust management tools like risks, issues, status. I can assign it to a program. I can assign it to a portfolio. And I can say this is active. And what's great is in our project tasks tab here, we can actually mention people on specific tasks, even if they're not assigned to it. So in this view specifically, in the quick look column, we're going to see this here to view a task conversation. Now, this is a conversation from me to Erin. So this sends her notification through Teams. Can you help me on this task? And it references this task here, which is this one. You can also send chatbots. So I sent her a Power BI app as well. And if I want to start a task conversation on a new one, I simply select here. And at the bottom, we have task conversation. It's going to pop out this window here. I'm going to want to add someone to this chat. I'm going to go ahead and say include history from the past number of, we can say 12 days. There's no history here, but if there was and I want her to see it, I could control that. And I'm going to add Erin. Now that I've added Erin, I can mention her and say, I really need your assistance. And it's going to immediately send her an activity notification here. And additionally, it's going to post to this channel here as well. So if additional users see this and they're not in the task conversation, they can still come in here and reply and say, I can help. which increases team collaboration and communication between your team when you know that other people need assistance on a task. So this is a really great feature that has recently been incorporated, is the ability to mention tasks. And as you can see here, Erin has already replied, sure, Stella, I can help. So I would receive the notification here that Erin has responded to my response, and I could actually directly reply instead of having to go to the project. So I'll say thank you so much. Now that we have looked at that project tasks conversation, let's go ahead and take a look at our PPM 360, which is Marquee 360's accelerator for the web. So as you can see here with our Teams integration, before I move to the browser, you're going to see exactly what we're going to see in the browser directly in Teams, which is created for each project. So I can actually directly manage these in here. And our solution also comes with 15 out of the box Power BI reports, which I can also add a tab here so I can view the reports as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this project to open it. So I'm going to go ahead and open it in my browser window here. And this is PPM 360. Here I can see a list of all my active projects. I'm going to go ahead and just open this one. And we can see here that our PPM 360 Lite project form allows us to have tasks here, task control. So this is going to look just like it did in that my project tasks in Teams. And any update you make in there, of course, reads back to here. When I assign someone a task, they receive that planner notification and can see that task in the My Task as well. As I mentioned from there, if they're doing it from a basic plan there, they would mark in progress and that would read back to the schedule as 50%. Here I have an area for risks. So as you know, there are risks that can come up throughout a project that are important to log and note, and they come up for multiple reasons. Let's say, for example, in our case, we had a COVID outbreak in the warehouse. And this is actually an active risk, and I'm going to assign it to myself. And upon saving this, it's going to send a notification to myself saying that I've been assigned this risk. For category, I'm going to select resources because my resources are down. We can see here that these blue highlighted fields it's an AI feature. So it knows that my go-to cost that I normally input here is $12,500 for fields for demos. So it knows that that's my go-to one and it's acknowledging it. If I want to accept it, I can either select the checkbox here. And if I want to accept all suggestions, I can accept that here. So here we have an area for probability. So it's percentage 1 to 100, impact 1 to 10. These are multiplied to give our exposure. And our cost exposure is probability times cost. Here we have an area for description.
Hey, Stella.
Yes.
Really quick, we do have a question in the chat.
Yeah, of course.
Is the tab Project Details a standard tab on Planner?
No, it's integrated with Project for the Web, which is also previously called Project for the Web, now called Planner. So it's Microsoft's accelerator, which we build on, and we have a special integration that when a new project is created, it automatically creates the teams, and adds those tabs to the top there. There are ways to add the tabs though if you do have a project without the integration. Okay. Awesome. So here, our mitigation plan, I can say I've spoken to other managers and they have resources with availability. A contingency plan is will communicate project delay to customer needed. Now I can see some system information. So it's going to tell me the last time this was modified, who it was modified by, and when this was created. So I can save and close this. And now I have a new risk. Now, this is a great time to reference one of our amazing reports we have, which is a risks dashboard report. And this is going to take into account all the risks in the environment or tool essentially here. So for any project that's created across all projects in this tool, we're going to see here So as you saw, I just entered the description here, so that will come up. So unforeseen weather, for example, in this case. And we can put as many as columns here as we have. So we can increase it. We can create custom columns. So this is very customizable. Let's say you want to measure risk by likelihood, or you want a risk level. Any fields can be configured here and added to the report as well. Here with my filters, I can say, show me all of the risks that are just mine or I'm the project manager. So as we can see here, I have 29 open risks assigned to me, the project manager. So that's quite a lot. So as a PMO, if I have a team, I can use this as a form to say, how is Stella doing? How can I help her on her risks? We have visuals here too that we can interact with. So for example, it's saying aerospace has multiple active risks. If I click on it, it's going to filter the table to show me the aerospace specific risks that I have created here. Same thought here. If I click on this part of the visual, it's going to show me the 21 active risks and the 7 proposed risks. Now the same concept applies for our issues dashboard here. So if we want to create a new issue, same concept, we'd select new issue. We see this form, which is completely customizable as well. I'd create my new issue, select a category, which once again can be completely customized and can also be a multi-select field. Requester. Now, as I mentioned before, I was assigned to a risk, so I received an in-app notification here saying a risk was assigned to you, and I can click and open this risk, and it will directly take me directly into the risk, not just the project for management. So I can come in here and make some notes, for example. Give a description of my issue, a solution. Now, last but not least, we have our status report tab here where you can create status reports. And these KPIs are pulling from the most recent status report with the most recent date. So we can see here our most recent date was this one here. So we can see these are all on track. If I come in and open this status report for editing, I can come in here and change the KPI to yellow, for example, save and close it, refresh my project. And we'll see that my budget health is updated to at risk here. I can also see a number of active issues that I have for this project, which is 8, active risks 2, and active changes are 2 as well. Now, this is the light form, so we don't have the changes tab shown here, but in our full PPM 360 package, we do have changes in addition to decisions, lessons learned, and attachments as well. We also have a financials tab available in our full PPM 360. So we can see here in our status report some very important things, some very important fields, the overall KPIs. These are manually set, but they can be logistically set. So for example, this could be a read-only field and could be determined on, for example, if 50% of the other KPIs are yellow, make this yellow, and so on. Now let's note these fields here: recent accomplishments, next steps, and additional comments. Where we're going to see these fields populate is in our awesome status report here, which is very customized by Marquis and is very, very informative, not only on a weekly level, but also at a monthly level for PMOs. So we can see here, I have information from the summary tab here at the top, what portfolio it's in. This information would be pulled from the financials tab if it was being shown here. I can see the total number of active risks, active issues, active changes. This is based on the tasks tab, so the amount of tasks complete for the overall project, percent complete. On that summary tab, I did have a planned start and a planned finish date for reference, and then my actual start and finish pulling from the schedule. My KPIs pulling from the most recent status report, and it shows me the last time the report was created. And then here I have those fields, text fields I mentioned, recent accomplishments, next steps, and additional comments. And this pulls in from the most recent status report. In addition to this, I have an area table for my risks, changes, and project issues. And very conveniently, I can see here that if, let's say I want to look into this risk, I have a link where I can click this and it will take me directly to the risk. Additionally, we have a link for the project, which I can click on as well, and it'll take me directly to the project. Now, I did also mention issues. So our issues dashboard looks similar to risks, slightly different. And once again, you can configure this to include as many or as little fields as you want that you have on the form here. So does anyone have any questions or want to see any other area? For example, if anyone has any interest in portfolio or program management. Okay. So some of our other reports we have here is a portfolio dashboard here. So within our PPM 360 tool, you can see here an area to manage portfolio. Do you have any dashboards for the cost? We do. So I'm going to go ahead and change the form to our full one because that includes our financials tab. So each individual project is going to have its own financials. And this area can be created to have as many, so like actual cost ITD, forecast, as many pre-calculated ones as you want. And these projects can be assigned to portfolios and programs, 1-to-1 ratio. In our summary tab, that's where we get the assignments here, programs and portfolios. And by assigning it here, I'm adding this project to this programs and then this portfolio. So if we click into this portfolio here, I can see this project is included. It gives me all the project names that live in this portfolio. And in my financials tab, it's giving me a roll up of all of the budgets for the project that this is. And this can be extremely configured as well. We also have a currency capability here, so I can change this and it will convert the currency for me as well. If we have the euro. So change the symbol, and then there's a workflow working in the background to actually do the conversion. So we do have a report here that populates portfolio health, which doesn't have cost details, but our portfolio dashboard does. So what we typically do is on the portfolio dashboard, you can see here that this is summing up all the projects. And then using my filters here, I can filter in on a specific portfolio or program actually. And it's going to give me just the projects in that one. So for example, real estate investment portfolio here, it's going to give me all of these. So we would essentially just add all of the cost associated financial fields here. So you can see them at the project level and what the sum up would be as well at the bottom. Outside of these 15 reports, Marquee does also create custom reports. So for example, we've done a burn down report, risk burn down report, many custom reports as well. Do we have any other questions or areas maybe you wanted to look at? Okay. One thing to note, when I say PPM 360, that actually we also have an area that was not discussed today called our intake application. And that intake application is going to populate the requests dashboard. So our intake application is a Canvas app that is associated with PPM 360, and it marks the ideation phase essentially of a project lifecycle. So it goes through an approval process to actually become an approved project, and there's a workflow that creates the request based on fields completed in the request. It creates a new project once the project's approved, and then managed further in project for PPM 360. So that application populates this report here. And that gives us our full PPM 360 overview from intake application to PPM 360 project, and then through the reports. So today we discussed Planner, how to build a basic plan in Planner, how to convert that to a premium plan. We looked at the features available for basic versus premium and discussed the types of projects that might be beneficial to have one versus the other. We also took a look at task conversations where we can talk to other members of our team about specific tasks and how they show up in the posts here. So where we can communicate for assistance on a task, even if the person's not assigned to it, they can still communicate on it. We then looked at some more robust features in PPM 360, which is Marquee 360's accelerator for projects, so previously called Project for the Web, now called Planner. And you can see here, I showed you the light version, but this would be the full version with all of these tabs for management. In addition to that, we also looked at how to create a new risk, a new issue, and how to look at those reports, those dashboard reports. Then we also touched on intake briefly and looked at the request dashboard report. Does anyone have any questions or any other areas they would like to look at? How to see projects linked to team. So when the project is approved at the intake level, it automatically creates a Teams for the project, and the owner will receive a notification that a Teams has been created for the project, and it will automatically appear in their Teams list here. Now that workflow can be configured to add additional members, and when I was in the basic plan and created that group, I added members there, and they'll automatically be added to the Teams in that way as well. Now, what we have done for other customers in the past is that we've created a field here within the summary that populates the URL link directly to the Teams for the project after it's been created. So all you'd have to do is just click on that link to get to the Teams for the project while you're in the browser. It would similarly show up in your Teams list though, but I understand that, we'll have a lot of teams that we're a part of, so there's an easier way to get to it. So we do have a solution for that. Did that answer your question? Okay. And Corinne, you're more than welcome to come off mute too if you'd like.
Hi.
Hi.
My question was, I have just been added to a group, a team group, whatever it is, and I wanted to see all the plans linked to this group, this team's group. Is it possible just by the same way we have the files, the chat, the conversation, and all the other tab? Is it a way to see all the plan that is linked to a group? Not by clicking on planner, but starting with the teams.
Starting with
you have activity, chat, teams.
Mm-hmm.
When you are on team, you go to any teams and you want to see all the plan attached to these teams. How to do that?
So in our planner view here, it's integrated with this. So if we add the planner here and I go to my tasks, I can see all the tasks I'm assigned to any project, and these projects have teams associated with it or groups.
Okay. And if I'm not attached to any task, but I am in the group, like you link one pupil to a group earlier.
And it's not showing up in your teams?
Exactly.
It's not showing up in your teams. Okay. Normally when you're added to a group, you'll be added to teams, and you'll also receive an email notification saying you've been added to a new Outlook group and a link directly to it. So I have to know a little bit more about the use case to understand what may have gone wrong.
Okay.
Unless you might know something that might have happened there. But that's where having that link that auto populates on the project directly to the team can be very helpful. So we've done that for another customer. That way everyone can just access it directly. And as long as they have the correct permissions, they can access it.
Okay.
Yeah, but ideally when someone adds you, whether it be, through the group, you should be getting that email notification. So they may not have added you correctly or added you with specific permissions that may not be appearing in your teams. It may have also appeared maybe under your hidden teams, but you should have also received an activity notification letting you know that you've been added to that group as well. So you did not receive that?
Yes, I received the notification that I have been added to a group, And
Okay.
when I go to the group, I see all the other tabs, but I'm looking for all the project that is linked to this group, and I don't know how to do that. By example, you have a group here. Let me just take PPM 360 demo project by example. When you go to this team, you are the general channel, and you have all the other. Do you have any tab with project or something like that? Or I need to go to planner to see
Okay.
the plan.
I see what you're saying. So what you'd want to do, the way I have project details here and project tasks, you'd want to just add that here. So you'd add that here through Power Apps. Or project.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it links with it. So you'd come in here and it would ask you to select which one, you'd add it there. So if I similarly wanted to add Power BI, for example, it's going to ask me which workspace I want to add. So if you add project up there, it'll ask you which one you want to add as
Okay,
well.
so same thing for project.
Yeah. So you can,
Okay.
yeah. So Power BI here, it's going to show me, so paste a Power BI link or browse my workspaces. So I can say, show me, this one here. And this is the one I want to view.
Perfect.
And now every time I come here, it'll save here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I hope that was helpful. Well, we love questions. So if anyone has any other areas they want to see, I'm happy to go into any other areas. Similarly, as we can add Power BI here, we can also pin Power BI here as well. So I can navigate to that to view reports as well. Reports are a critical piece of our PPM 360 as they provide data of overall projects in your system. So if there are no more questions, then Erin, I'll hand it back to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Stella. Hi everyone, I'm the marketing manager at Marquee 360. I just want to say thanks for joining us. And I know you saw a lot today, but that's all just to say that there are a lot of options when it comes to managing your projects with Microsoft. And it might seem a little overwhelming hearing it all at once, but once you find out which piece fits you, we can sit down and just talk about that part. So you're not having to hear about things that might not apply to you. So don't be afraid to reach out and for a one-to-one conversation, and we can see where you're at and give you advice on which Microsoft option fits you and your business the best. And thank you all for joining us. Thanks, Stella, for presenting.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.